why did you end up in the eye business, Dr. Lavi?
The truth is because I have an eye issue that I didn't know about until I started my rotation medical school, and I went on from there.
So it was your own issue that caused your curiosity. You were in a different path in life then.
I went to medical school. I was going to be a cardiologist or an ICU doctor, internal medicine doctor, a regular general primary care type of guy.
Yeah.
And then got into this rotation at the very end of med school, and this is pretty cool.
So that learning moment for you, in many ways, changed your life. Would you say that became your purpose when you woke up every single day, which was not only solving your own issue, but becoming this world-renowned eye doctor?
I'm going to say every 4 or 5 years, probably an event in my life that changes the direction of where I was going. Since 1992, looking at the vision of athletes, and then working with companies, gets changed over to make a new kind of vision test. So I'm eager to see what's on the horizon next.
So what made you wake up and go, I'm going to focus on athletes and their eyes?
It was that project that I got when I got to UCLA. They wanted me to finish, which was the LA Dodgers. It was interesting. That wasn't enough to support a family, so I had to take care of kids and pediatrics. The amount of pediatrics has decreased. The amount of sports they do has increased. So now probably in the 80-20 split. 2 days a week I see kids. 5 days a week I'm doing athletes. It's certainly becoming much more popular, especially in professional teams. We're looking at ways of optimizing players, of maximizing the draft and so forth. I have the MLB draft is coming up in a couple of weeks. I have calls with different teams to review players for the draft. People are interested in the information more than used to.
Marty, as an athlete, you must be taking this all in, thinking, where was this guy when you were going through your journey, eh?
Definitely. What you're doing now is way cooler than being a primary care physician.
One NHL team, the LA Kings. That was a great team. Wayne Gretzky was on the team, so I took care of him and the rest of the club. I've been in baseball since 1992, 8 World Series championships, rings. There's nobody alive that has more World Series championships than I do. I've worked with 3 NBA teams, Celtics, Sixers, and the Rockets. I've been to the Beijing Olympic Games with the USA team back in 2008. I had a team in Tokyo last summer at the Olympics, but lots of college teams mixed in there, a lot of private athletes, Formula One drivers, lots of different players. Every player is different, every sport is different, the vision needs of each sport is different.
I believe most of us human beings, we take our eyesight for granted. Then when you start talking about sports, it really starts to make your brain be curious. It's those edges in sport. When you meet a guy like Dr. Daniel Abbey, you're like, yeah, this guy's going to give me that edge. I was fascinated by our last conversation. How many teams don't call you? You said yourself you were surprised by how many teams still take it for granted in many ways.
Every sport is really different. It's interesting. Baseball has gotten really into statistics since Moneyball. And so in baseball, it's really spread quite a bit. I've worked with probably half the clubs in MLB already. Basketball is getting there. The one area that I think can make a big difference is in soccer/football. But in European soccer football, I would have expected it to be much more. I've worked in every major sport in the U.S. It's been really hard to get into European football.
Did you know that over 2.2 billion people suffer from vision impairment? And half of these losses could have been prevented. In the last 15, 20 years, we've had this introduction of many new common vision problems caused by screen time.
Nowadays, no one's outside, no one's looking far away. We go to the supermarket to pick up what we want, and we look at the screen the rest of the time to either chat or read our email, and that's a problem. Because one of the biggest epidemics in eye care today is the increasing amount of nearsightedness. Some people feel that's related to some of that increased screen time. Not so much the screen damaging your eyes, but you're doing a lot of near work.
We are also suggesting that if we spend too much time reading words on a piece of paper close to our eyes, those same effects can happen to us.
Yeah, I've seen people that do a lot of reading tend to be more nearsighted. Think of the societies where there's a lot of reading, a lot of those people have glasses.
Has the shift to remote work and online learning exacerbated this problem?
I think it's early. This is not something that happens in a day or a week or a month or even a year. This is something that takes time to accumulate. And I'm not sure we've had enough years to see that difference. And number 2, the age, this is really something that's critical in kids.
Do you think it's going to get worse? We're only doing more screen work, more remote work. We're not going backwards in technology. So you think it's going to get worse?
Yeah, I think so. We're talking about large numbers of people that sometimes applies individually. Our lives are becoming much more connected to screens and tablets and phones and different devices. And I think that's going to continue. It's really hard to go backwards in things. The globe is much more connected than it ever has been. This technology is getting us much more connected, which is a positive because that means we're closer to each other. So I think technology is moving in a good direction, but I do think technology is going to cause us to become more.
Someone who wants to avoid being nearsighted, you mentioned sunlight. What else can they do?
In addition to lifestyle. So what I try to tell people is a balanced experience, right? Reading Harry Potter over a weekend is too much. You need to be outdoors, getting physical activity, getting sunlight. You need to be doing things indoors like reading. You need to be creative. If you mix it all up, you have the best chance to develop to avoid this nearsightedness and other issues.
Talk about the role of diet and hydration in maintaining eye health.
Yeah, the hydration is important. If your body is not functioning optimally, your eyes are not going to function optimally. People have high blood pressure, that affects their eyes. You have diabetes, it affects your eyes. The eyes are extremely sensitive. Maximizing your own body's health is going to maximize your vision into the future. Protecting the vision means protecting your body and your health. And hydration.
Dr. Labby, are blue light filters as effective as they are marketed to be?
Our brains are sensitive to blue light because when we were out catching those animals out in the field in the prehistoric times, the sky was blue. Come into the cave at night, the sun's gone down, no more blue light. Your brain says, no more blue light, this must be time to go to sleep. When we looked at that screen after sundown, now our brain is getting the signal, it's still daytime, it's blue. The blue light blocking glasses, you can wear those, but if you wear them all day, now you're really messing your brain up because now your brain never gets blue light.
Do you yourself?
I have night shift on my devices. So when it gets to be sunset, the computer or the phone or the tablet knows when sunset is and it starts taking up blue light at sunset. I have a very pink screen.
I've played with it and I got to be honest, I don't like it. I don't like how it looks.
You have choices. One, don't look at your phone at night. Number two, get blue light blocking glasses. Yeah, cold plunge has a lot of science behind it too.
We're talking hydration. We're talking blue light. We're talking put your phone down. Give them something today that they can hang on when they leave our conversation today that they can take throughout their day.
I'm going to move from health to performance. If you're shooting a basket, if you're looking at the rim properly, the ball is likely to go in. If you're looking off to the side and you're shooting the basket, pretty clear it's not going to likely go into the basket. That brings up this concept of the quiet eye. It's really been helpful in a lot of sports. Even if you're a weekend golfer, this is a tip that's going to take off a couple of strokes from your game. What you look at and when you look at it is critical. Fixation, looking at that point, at least for half a second or so. And that's going to increase your chance of success. You want to give your brain time to fix on what you're looking at and make that motor action, to make the action proper.
Marty, when you hear him speak, do you think about the things he's talking about?
I definitely think about it. I got yelled at so many times for trying to run down the court after the shooting the shot thinking I'm Steph Curry.
If the audience wants to do something to really improve their visual function, learn to juggle. Good way to learn hand-eye coordination, concentration, vision tracking, peripheral vision, lots of different pieces that you need to use your eyes for to perform.
So if you're looking to improve your eyesight, pick up 3 balls and start juggling them around. You're saying though that when you're juggling, your eyes are getting as much of the workout as anything is.
It's the vision part of your brain that's getting the workout. All those connections between thinking about last ball, where it went, where this ball's gonna go, how much force you threw it up with, how good you are at moving, where should you put your hands, how distracted you are. All those different pieces have to do with vision one way or another.
It's hard, I'm sure, for you to not see the future where there's that melding of technology and eyes and us being bionic.
I've been in computers for a long time. Every week or so, I learn another piece about the eyes that shows me that it's going to be a long time before we can put together a mechanical system that's going to match what our eyes can do. Even the artificial retinas that people have developed to this point are really gross in terms of sharpness and so forth. If you have something that you can't see very well, you can add random noise and all of a sudden you can see it, as long as you don't add too much random noise. We have to bring it to the threshold so your brain realizes it's there before you can make a decision about it.